could stay like this.
One, two. Guys, you join me in the SEN stream changing rooms. This is hallowed turf, hallowed ground, a £5 million facility hosted at the University of Westminster that's exclusively available to those undertaking the MSc in Sport and Exercise Nutrition. And it's taken me to week 4, to show you this special place. And you can see here the Hall of Fame of our previous last year's cohort of students. Some honourable mentions are warranted. Victoria Newbold, distinction, MSc, graduating November. Josh Lucas, distinction, graduated in November. Evie Tanner, distinction, graduating in November. Anyone who achieves a distinction within the MSc in Sport and Exercise Nutrition gets their own dedicated locker within the Sport and Exercise Nutrition locker room. Is that going to be you next year? Come September, when you're getting your awards, is that going to be you with a distinction? Think about it. If a distinction's on the cards, then the natural environment for the Sport and Exercise Nutrition student is obviously the library. You can see this guy over here. He's a Sport and Exercise Nutrition student. He's in his natural environment. He's at home here. He's been here for the last 72 hours, absorbing the latest knowledge, the latest nutrition knowledge, the latest Sport and Exercise Nutrition knowledge from the latest journals. He's got a Twitter account. He's tweeting out every 5-10 minutes about the latest findings. He's committed, he's dedicated, he's on track for a distinction. Is that going to be you? Good morning and welcome to episode 5 of SEN Stream. Not worn the best shirt for the day today, and we've started with a slightly alternative approach to the stream this morning. I've invited you into the SEN Stream locker room. As I said, not everyone in the University of Westminster gets invited in to the SEN Stream locker room, so welcome. You're now fully inducted into the MSc program, and you're in week 4, heading towards mid-semester break. What have we got in store for you this morning? So we take a look at what is happening in week 5. We also talk about a continued professional development opportunity at King's College London. We confirm the course representatives for the Sport and Exercise Nutrition program. We talk about lactate and treat it as our topic of the tweet of the week. And also we will be taking some questions and providing answers in the chat. So alternative start to SEN Stream this morning, like to keep it fresh. Let me know if you're there in the chat and we can take it from there. Guys, good morning and welcome to SEN Stream. I am going to have to pause very briefly as the microphone that I'm using this morning is going to run out of battery and therefore you won't be able to hear me. So I'm going to have to quickly swap to a desktop one. But what I'd like to do in the chat, just to say hello, say how everyone is doing. I can say hello to Gillian, good morning to Fran, and good morning to Adam. Guys, I'm going to ask you a quick question. Would it be possible to let me know what you're enjoying most about the stream, most about the course until this point? If you could share that with me in the stream, that would be fantastic. Just give me 2 minutes while I change the microphone that I'm using, and I'll be back with you shortly. Okay. 1, 2. Guys, I would really appreciate it if you can hear me. This is unhelpful. I think we should be good. Can everybody hear me? Question mark. So I'm just going to read some stuff out on the chat while things are coming in. I really enjoy Sanjoy's practitioner skills session. And of course, the lab work. Gillian, the practical aspects of support from the lectures. Students, excellent. Fran, the balance between theory and practicals. It's much easier. Subjects this way. Fantastic. And Philippa, good morning. Welcome. Guys, if someone could just politely let me know in the chat that the microphone is working well and that it's not choppy or anything like that, and I will continue to do the stream this morning. I may have to have this microphone very close to my face, seemingly, for it to work, but that's absolutely... Volume is a bit... Okay. Okay, how are we getting on this time? It's a bit fading in and out. Hopefully, I've just turned up the levels a little bit. I now may very much be deafening you, and I apologize for that in advance. Do let me know, though, if this is better. It should be. Excellent. Okay. Oh, a bit choppy. Fading in and out. I'm really sorry about this, guys. Unfortunately, the microphones that I usually use are wireless, and someone did put them back on charge after they'd used them. This is, from my end, looking a lot better. Please do let me know if that is the case in the chat. I think there's a little bit of a delay, but I'm going to continue as if everything is normal, whilst politely rolling up my sleeves because I'm a bit warm, stressed out, but it's fine. Okay, good. Loud and clear. Fantastic. Thank you, Fran, for letting me know. I will continue on and talk about... Excellent. Thank you, guys. Super helpful for the feedback. Okay, let's get on with it. My word, what a stressful start to the stream this morning. Did everybody like the SEN stream changing rooms? Because I was keen to induct everybody in. Now, next week, hopefully, when I give you these really awkward inspirational talks from the SEN stream changing rooms, the list of individuals on the SEN stream lockers will be different. It will all be your guys' names, just to get you involved with that. Also, hopefully, you recognize the library, that most of you have been there, because that's an important place if you want to do well on this course. So nevertheless, let's have a look what the hell's going on in the coming week. Oh, okay, so we're going to kick off with with nutrition and performance with Jane. I'm really sorry about the shirt. I didn't think about what was going on with the stream today, but nevertheless, we will persevere, and I just look like a checkerboard. So, well done for all of the hard work and enthusiasm on the hydration practicals. Great effort from everyone. I hear it's a bit of a challenging one, that one. You've also got to sweat a little bit, which generally students are not keen on doing that. So great if Jane has said you've done a great job there. That's excellent. She said doubly well done to the students that have come prepared with the data collection sheets. Make yourselves known in the chat if that is you, because any preparation is worth giving you a good old pat on the back for. So do please let me know if that was you. That was fantastic. Next week, you're going to be moving on to micronutrients and attempting to answer the question whether athletes require supplemental micronutrients or not. This sets you up really nicely for a session that we do in advanced performance nutrition, where we look at immune function and nutrition. We get a guest lecturer called Dr. Glenn Davison coming in from the University of Kent, and he is a specialist in exercise immunology. So this is really laying the groundwork for that kind of lecture, because it's pretty full on. So do pay attention, because it will see you well into the next semester. So Jane's indicated here, with some time, if there's a bit of time, they're going to go over the knowledge questions from the last few weeks. So do have a go at them before the next week, and you will also have a feeding the athlete practical. So you'll be in the labs with loads of food, constructing some menus, and to meet the requirements of some specific athletes. Now, there's some good alignment here on the course because you will be doing something very similar to that with Sanjoy in a more theory-based fashion as well on the Wednesday. So that is excellent news. Great to see we've got a few more people coming in the chat here. We've got we've already got Gillian. Scipione, I'm not sure who you are, but please do let me know who you are and where you've come from today. Kirsty has come in and said much better, and also Gillian did a great job at prepping the data collection sheets in case she doesn't say. So there we are. We've got peers patting each other on the back, which is fantastic, and great job, Gillian, for keeping everyone on track there. So great job and well done. Let's move it on though to the next module. I'm just acutely aware that some of the updates are missing, so I might just change the view. I know what the updates are from the module leaders, but we'll go from there. So just a polite reminder about what is going on today. We have Professor Frank Hu from the University of Harvard University, coming in and talking about personalized nutrition for improving health, hype or hope. I saw a colleague had attended a conference in Ireland just these few days, and he gave this talk there, said it was very good. It's from 1:15 till 2:30, which means it does nudge into concepts, but please be aware that Claire is accommodated for that. So we've got the critical reading session today, of which there's been 3 papers released. There'll be 3 separate cohorts of students who can come and have a chat. I'm going to be one of the people leading the sessions on the sports paper, and we're going to kind of critically appraise that. But that session as such will not start until 2:30. So I'm going to be at this talk. So if you turn up to the room, I ain't going to be there until 2:30. So well worth having a listen to, coming and getting involved. Personalized nutrition, finding out what it is, how you can define it, and how it actually applies to you as an individual. Is really interesting. So do make sure that you get yourselves involved and get along to that as well. Thinking ahead to next week, Claire has been super busy recently, so I haven't had any formal updates from her, but just to make you aware that I'll be doing the carbohydrate lecture with you guys next week. So hopefully you enjoyed the energy lecture. I've got some short answer questions to put together yet and send out. So do look out for a sort of test your knowledge quiz on that coming up on concepts. But I'll be doing the carbohydrate lecture next week, where we kind of take a stand back and we take a look at and go, what is a carbohydrate? How do we categorize it? Are there different types? What impact does it have on our metabolism? I do throw some sports stuff in there as well, despite the generic nature of the module, just to keep everybody interested and see how they apply. But yeah, it'll be an exciting lecture. You also have another session. I'll be honest and say, because I haven't had the updates, I'm not quite sure what it is. But do turn up to the carbohydrate feeding lecture, and then there'll be another session after that, as mine's only going to be an hour, and I promise it will only be an hour this time. Let's move it on and see what else is going on the modules. Sorry, I'm just keeping up with the chat there. Gillian saying thanks, and Mikari's saying not tomorrow. Oh, that's fine. Thank you for letting us know. Where can we get more info on the future Westminster Harvard seminar series? Good question. Is that front? I'm not sure, but Ehab did his sabbatical over there, so he's the reason why we're getting all these Harvard profs coming over and having a talk here. Once I find out, I'll ask Ehab specifically. Maybe I'll try and give you an update next week on SEN so that we're all on the right page. Just a reminder of what's going on in concepts today. We've got the 3 papers on Blackboard. If you haven't had the chance to read one of them yet, I suggest you bump that on up your list pretty quickly, because that's going to be happening at 2:30 today. Again, select one, write the notes and thoughts against each of the questions Claire has asked, and then come to the class prepared to have a chat with your peers and with the session leader. You don't have to choose the sports one. You can choose whichever one that you see fit and the one that you're most interested in, and then you can go and have a bit of an informed conversation about how you can critically appraise this thing. And again, critically appraise doesn't necessarily mean what's bad. It means the whole spectrum. What's bad? Why is it bad? What's good? How does that then lead into the concluding points of the discussion? Are the results relevant are the results in line with the methodology, and does the discussion points build on the results of the paper, or do they speculate a lot? Those types of things is what we want to be looking at. So do take the opportunity to make sure you get involved with that section. Okay, let's move it on. Okay, some updates from Teddy. So research method for health sciences 1. I'd be curious to know in the chat if anyone is happy to share their experiences so far as to how the module's going. Stats is always a tricky one for some people, so it'd be nice to kind of get a bit of a feel for how things are and where things are up to. Especially like your thoughts and reflections. Can you see the pathway to how you might be able to use these techniques? Do you feel a bit overwhelmed by SPSS? Like just a little bit of feedback from the chat would be super helpful. Just to find out what's going on. So some updates from Teddy ahead of next week. Make sure you complete the week 4 activities ahead of the next week's session. So you will have been given some tasks yesterday, or they're on Blackboard, for you to complete ahead of week 5. So do make sure that you get stuck into those. Again, I can't emphasize this enough. Your success at statistical analysis will be increasing the opportunities that you've got in order to undertake those assessments. So the more opportunities that you give yourself, the better it's going to be as you move forward. So weeks 5, 7, 8, and 11 will be held in PC room C201. So do make sure that you head across to the correct room for those sessions. And as discussed in the week 4 session, the booklet highlighting all the key components of the lecture is now accessible on Blackboard under the Learning Resources folder. So do check out the Blackboard site for any updates that Teddy has put up onto there moving forward. I know there's a couple more points I want to talk about on Research Method Health Sciences 1. Let's just bring them up now. So there's going to be some extra tutorial sessions. Again, do let me know if you're planning on attending those, or if you are restricted on attending those, because that's always useful as well, because it is a non-scheduled session, is in its outwith of the normal MSc program. So if any of you were curious about that, then, you know, that's when it is. These are going to be running in weeks 5, 7, 8, and 9, every Tuesday between 10 and 12 p.m. They are drop-in sessions. Therefore, the attendance is not necessarily mandatory, but you may find some benefit from just having a bit of a drop-in and a chat with Teddy with regards to some things that you may be struggling with. The room numbers will be communicated as soon as we as staff can't just book out rooms. We have to ask an adult for permission to book out a room. So once that is once the permission has been granted, Teddy, I assume, will put out an announcement and keep everyone on track. So the topic for next week. Week 5 topics include hypothesis testing, t-testing, as in a one-sample t-test, unpaired and paired, the types of error, and using recommended reading list instructions. Please familiarize yourselves with these topics. These are all the foundations for understanding statistical techniques and statistical analysis on data sets. So it would be a good idea for you to lay those foundations well so that you can start building on top of that from there. So if you are feeling a bit stressed out, or if you are feeling a little bit overwhelmed from that, so do continue to try and get stuck into the resources that Teddy is sharing with you, and make sure that you take the opportunity to go and discuss the updates. Sorry, I'm trying to think of the next module and everything else. Do make sure you go across to those drop-in help sessions if you get the opportunity to do so, because you will get some more specific advice on some of the issues that you may be struggling with. Okay, let's move it on. I believe this is practitioner skills, and again, so let me just head across. I got Sanjoy's updates a little bit later this morning, so I haven't had a chance to transfer them over, but I have them in front of me now on the power of whatever. Here we go. So next week we'll be doing some problem-based learning within practitioner skills. Sanjoy is going to give you a range of different case studies of real-world examples, of which you will then go on to try and design a nutrition intervention for those particular scenarios that have been presented to you. This aligns nicely with what Jane is doing in nutrition and performance, so you'll get a double whammy of that, and you will really be able to solidify those skill sets moving into the rest of the degree program. So a real practically applied session next week. It will lead nicely also into the carbohydrates feeding stuff, because I do try and tease out how you could be a bit more specific about carbohydrate ingestion with athletes as well. Sanjoy is also going to take the opportunity to give you some examples from the previous practice, or his personal previous practice as a sports nutritionist as well. So opportunities to apply some of the knowledge that you've got to various specific case studies, and also having the opportunity to reflect on some of Sanjoy's experience and what he's learned from that. And that advice and that insight can be invaluable because it saves you a lot of time. Now, I know some of you are already practicing consultants, nutritionists, insert title here. It would be good for you to build on and share that knowledge and experience that you have with your own practice, particularly with your peers, and also with Sanjoy and others in the session. So do come be prepared to get involved with that session moving forward. So let me move the slides on and we'll continue the stream. Okay, before we do that, so I'm just going to pop open the chat. Hopefully, yeah, see, my chat just isn't working at the moment. So I'm not quite sure why that is, but we'll leave the screen on. Why the hell not? I'm just having a little read through. If you've got any more questions with regards to the content of the session, it'd be good for people to reflect on research methods for health sciences too. Do let me know. Like, it'd be good to know what people are thinking. Particularly ahead of mid-semester, I'm gonna be giving you guys the opportunity to really give some feedback anonymously, so you can be honest about how you're thinking and feeling about stuff, so we can try and do something about what's going on in the modules. So yeah, if you can let me know in the chat, that would be fantastic. Be constructive and all that. So whilst we're waiting for anyone to make any comments, I am currently ruining my entire stream. What the hell's going on, right? Whilst we're waiting for those comments to come in, I'm going to continue to talk about the next continued professional opportunity. So I was cruising around on Twitter, as you do, just seeing what's going on in the world out there. And I came across the following London-based event, which is being held by King's College London at Guy's and St Thomas's, I believe. So we can go across there now and have a quick look at what is taking place. So this is an event that's being hosted by them. It's called Connecting Science and Performance, Fueling for Athletes. I'd be curious to know if anybody has already signed up to this event. It's free, which is fantastic. It's by the Centre for Human and Applied Physiological Sciences, King's College London. So it's coming from some decent folk. There's two primary presenters here. We've got Jessica Pizzacchi. I think I've pronounced that incorrectly, and I apologise if I have. We've also got Dr. Oliver Whittard. I know Ollie Whittard quite well. He was one of the lecturers at the University of Stirling whilst I was doing my PhD there. He's recently moved down to King's to take a senior lecturer position over there to run some of their sports nutrition stuff. Super knowledgeable guy. He'll be talking about carbohydrate feeding for endurance. Nutritional strategies for endurance sports. I'd get yourselves down to this. I believe it's in the evening. Yep. So 5:30 onwards. Taking you through to about 8:30. If I didn't have two small people to look after, I would probably head across to this as well. But unfortunately, I suspect I will be doing bath time. So there is that. But I would strongly recommend for you guys to get yourselves down there. Good for networking, good for hearing some different ideas and different perspectives, and kind of drawing on the experience of these two experts within their respective fields. Whilst I'm here, let's pop up the chat. Oh, that's not gone well. There we go. Good stuff. So do let me know if you are either already signed up to that or if you are planning on going, so that your peers know that other people are going to be there. I'd get myself down. If I was an MSc student and I had a bit of time, I would be getting myself down there, especially because it's free as well. So that's always a winner. So do let me know in the chat if that is you, and we'll go from there. Okay, cool. Let's move it on. Okay, I made a polite request last week before, I think it was, that for some student representatives, and I am about to announce them right now. So drum rolls on the desks, please. Who are our student representatives for the 2019-2020 period? Here goes. It's Bruno Cirillo and Laura Windrum. Thank you very much, folks, for putting your names forward for the positions of course representatives. I will definitely be in touch with you guys as soon as possible. Well, I've been in touch with Bruno and Laura. I emailed you about 20 minutes ago, actually, just to say thank you for your email. And yes, that would be fantastic. Your course reps are going to be really important moving forward. Sorry, 1 second. The course reps are going to be important because you guys are going to act as the intermediary between the student body and the staff. So I'll be inviting you guys to try and collect a little bit of feedback with regards to how everything's going. So you'll be really involved with the mid-semester feedback process. You'll be privy to all of the responses, but the responses are anonymous. So it doesn't matter that you guys can see the responses. You won't be able to see who has submitted them, but you get to see what everyone is saying, and that's really important. I tend to not like to get course reps who only push their own agenda, so I try and provide a framework for that, making sure that that doesn't happen. I might invite you onto SENstream. The future of this studio is unknown at the moment. I just know that it won't be here come the first week of November, but it will be put somewhere else, and I don't know if I'm going to have access to that immediately. So there might be some SEN streaming from an office, which could be good fun because there's quite a lot of equipment in here to make SENstream work in the way that it does. So yeah, things might be getting a bit rough and ready in the next few weeks, but that's fine. But yeah, thank you very much to Bruno and Laura. I will certainly be getting those things. And so what does that mean for you guys as students? It will be important for you guys, if you have any queries or concerns, to try and raise those with Bruno and with Laura, because they will then act as the bridge to getting that information across to me at specific and structured meetings with you guys. So it will be an opportunity for you to ensure that if there's any issues or problems, that we try and do something about it. And similarly, if there is stuff that's going well, that you tell us about it. Because if we're doing good stuff, then we might as well do more good stuff as we move on through the throughout the course. So just to pick up on the chat again, I can see the messages at the top of my screen here. So it looks good, but I have two small people who get in the way. We'll try to sort childcare. That's fine. Fran, I've registered. This talk was advertised last Saturday during VegMed at King's College. Good stuff. Thanks for sharing that, Fran. Thanks, Bruno and Laura from Gillian there, just for signing up as course reps. So excellent. Adam's going to be there. Gillian, maybe you could have a chat with Fran and Adam and they could record sections of it for you, even if it's just the audio. That would be fantastic. As to whether it's going to be live streamed, I'm not sure, but we'll see. But yeah, great stuff, guys. Thank you for contributing that. And a special thank you to Bruno and Laura for putting their names forward in the chat. For the course rep, sorry. Now, a tweet of the week. I don't usually... a tweet of every other week at the moment. It's just difficult to have the time to invest in finding some of this stuff and then remembering to write stuff down. But I did come across this particular tweet this week. So let's have a quick look now. There was a tweet put out by David Morales Alamo. I'm assuming I've pronounced that incorrectly as well. So lactate, at least in mice, can be a key factor for exercise-induced mitochondrial adaptations, since the efficacy of high-intensity training is at least partly attributed to elevated blood lactate concentration. So I had a quick look at this. I have the actual paper open here, and I promised that I would put some links in the chat today. So let me do that now so that you guys have got access to this. Stuff. I will also put a link into the continued professional development opportunity as well, since I keep forgetting to put these links in places so you guys have got access to it. There we go. Magic. Okay, yeah, so the paper, interesting one. Now, I'm not always keen about talking about animal studies, in the sense that I don't always see their immediate application to the human. And that's quite a narrow view for me, and I do need to kind of open up a little bit to the idea of animal models, but simply because they provide a really controlled model for demonstrating physiological mechanisms, and this is a really nice example of how they can be used for that purposes. Now, it's difficult to control the behaviors and nutrition of human beings, because we can't lock them in a chit cage on a 12-hour light, 12-hour night cycle, which is what they do here. We can't control the food, we can't control their activity. And we also, it's typically frowned upon if you start manipulating physiological parameters like lactate by vast amounts, because it becomes quite dangerous doing that. Whereas in mice, it seems to be a little bit more free reign as to those types of things that you can do. So they essentially did that. They took a group of mice and they manipulated their daily lactate concentrations by providing them with injections, and then looking at their training responses as a result of that. So they had ones where they were just injecting lactate over a 28-day period, and they looked at the changes in expression of different proteins involved with aerobic energy metabolism. And they also took a group of mice who they then controlled the exercise of whilst they were exercising with lactate available, and they looked at the responses from there. It's a fascinating paper, lots of protein expression stuff, lots of nicely controlled Western blots for you to take a look at as well if you've not been familiar with that technique. So do take a look at this. Interesting read. It's a slightly different angle. And it's try and think about the implications of this from a training perspective and an adaptation perspective. And whether, you know, in future, are we all going to be consuming supplements which will contain lactate? And one of the challenges there is to actually get the lactate from your stomach into your bloodstream for that mechanism to actually occur. So that is my tweet of the week this week. Do take a look at it. It's an interesting one, especially if you're not familiar with that type of literature moving forward. So, and yeah, I might ask about it next week in the chat. Have you had a read? And we'll see what people's responses are like. Now, I think, yes, we are on to the final section of SEN Stream today. Lots covered, I feel. All the updates to the modules. We've got the continued professional development opportunity. We've now got some course reps, which is fantastic. And we've also had the tweet of the week this week as well. So I am going to open it up to the chat. I'm going to have to do it as I've done so far, just to have a look. So let me just move it over. Good stuff. See if I can make this nice and big. Good job. So I think it just leaves me to say, I hope everything's going well. We've got to week 4 so far. You've made it this far. Excellent. We've got week 5 next week, and then we're into mid-semester break, student engagement week. There will be activities coming up in student engagement week, and I will be putting out announcements for that in the coming days, and well, maybe next week as well, to keep everybody on track. There's going to be an employability focus for the activities arranged in student engagement week, so I will definitely make you guys aware of what is going on so you can be involved with those moving forwards. It's also a nice opportunity to catch up on a few bits and pieces. You're going to have some assessments that are handed in shortly after student engagement week, if not in student engagement week from memory. So do take the opportunity to make sure you can knuckle down, get into the literature, get caught up with the readings, and make sure that you're on top of the assessments moving forwards. Really try and emphasize that it's not good practice to leave your assessments to the few days beforehand, because they are not going to be of a good quality, because you're going to rush them, you're not going to proofread them, you're not going to include all the references that are required for producing a decent set of work. So do make sure that you are giving yourselves the best opportunity, is what I would say. So yeah, take the opportunity during that week to really kind of consolidate what you've learned so far, but also take the opportunity to think about what's coming up, where you're up to with various different assessments, and how you're going to tackle those moving forwards. As I say, I've asked a few questions throughout today about how people feel the course is going. There will be a comprehensive opportunity for you to, as I say, to provide feedback on the course anonymously. I can't stress that enough. It's very important that that feedback is collected anonymously so that you guys can be as honest as possible. And I do this every single mid-semester break and at the end of semester as well, where I try and get as much information from you guys about how everything's going. So do look out for that, and I'll be liaising with Bruno and Laura in order to get that information out to you guys. And I will reflect on the responses that you give live on the stream as well. So you'll be able to see the responses that your peers have said. Again, there's no names. I don't know who is who. And therefore, it gives you a nice framework to be open and honest and reflect on how things have been. So do take the opportunity to fill that in. But yeah, I mean, no further questions coming through on the chat.
I am prepared to wait around a little bit because the stream has gone fairly well today, minus the issues with the mics, but that's fine. At least I know what they are now moving forwards, which is good. So yeah, if there is any further questions, please do put them in the chat as soon as possible, and then we can go from there. Great engagement again today, though, guys. Always good to get people contributing. I know it's difficult. I know it's hard, especially when your name's next to it and you think, oh, there's going to be a record of this, and it's fine. You will be absolutely grand. Kirsty, really impressed with the support and guidance. Excellent. Thank you, Kirsty, for some good stuff, which is always helpful. Yeah, I think the benefit of coming to Westminster is that there is a bunch of staff who are very keen to make sure that they've got time for you. And as such, they put time aside, they've got open door policies, or they give you a framework in order to approach them. And as such, larger institutions where staff have got other commitments and such like may not be quite as good as that. And so we do pride ourselves on making sure that is we're as good as everybody else, if not better, at doing that. So it's really nice to hear, actually. Thank you very much for letting us know. I will definitely let Jane, Sanjoy, Teddy, Claire, the team as a whole know, which is fantastic. Just while these comments are coming in, another update to make you aware of. We're going to try and get you to start transitioning and thinking about your ideas around research projects. And in order to try and facilitate this, this is research projects for the dissertation topic. So if you're a part-time year one student, you can politely just switch off, go make a brew, check Instagram, whatever. Whereas if you are doing your research project next year, I will be inviting staff members to provide you guys with the projects that they are currently and actively working on. And these will be released in mid-semester break, so in week 6. And you'll be able to have a look through them to see what staff are working on what types of projects and whether you would want to align with them. Because after mid-semester break, we will go through the process of trying to allocate supervisors to you guys. I will talk more comprehensively about that in the subsequent weeks, probably next week actually, about how we go about ensuring that you're with a supervisor that's best positioned to support you in your studies. So do have a look out for that. But essentially, there's two main options. You can have a look at the projects that are being offered by members of staff and work alongside them in a fairly comprehensive project. And similarly, you might identify that a particular staff member has a specialism that you weren't aware of, and that it might align with an idea that you may have, and the staff member may be open to suggestions about different projects. And similarly, you can run your own project, but it needs to be feasible. That's the key word there. If the supervisor that you're approaching thinks that the project is not feasible for time, for money, for ethics, for whatever it is, then we'll try and ensure that you guys have a project that is workable, that is feasible, that answers a question that you're interested in. So have a look out for the projects that are going to be advertised. Make sure that that I will give you some instructions around the time, but it will be an opportunity for you to go and speak to some of the supervisors about their projects. And then the idea is to ensure that you guys have been allocated with a supervisor by sort of week 9, week 10 of this semester, which sets you up really nicely for semester 2, because then you'll know exactly who it is that you need to direct your questions to with regards to your project. And semester 2, Research Methods for Health Sciences 2, is all set up to ensure that you guys have a comprehensive project to undertake in the summer. So bit off topic there, but worth mentioning, I feel, at this stage, just so you guys are aware of the different updates that will be coming out in the next few weeks and stuff. So do keep yourselves posted on that front. So with that in mind, I'd thank you very much for the kind comments. It's really good to hear that you guys are feeling suitably supported. That's great news, and thank you once again. But if there aren't any further questions, I will politely wrap up the stream today. I will see you all, hopefully, at Frank Hu's talk. I'm not sure what it's going to be like on the seating arrangement front, but I'd suggest getting there a little bit earlier if you can manage it to secure your seat, because I feel like there's going to be quite a few people there. But yeah, I look forward to seeing you all there. And then anyone who's joining me in concepts with the pentathlon paper, I believe it is, then do come along to the session and we will start to have a look at that paper from there. So thank you very much for listening today, guys. Apologies once again for the microphone issues at the start. I'll try and make sure that we're in a good place next time. But other than that, take it easy. See you later on this afternoon if you're in my session, and have a great weekend. All right, take it easy, folks.